everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is a very sensitive one. Coping with the loss of a child. Coping with the loss of a child. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, this is a subject that my spirit asked me to bring to you. And I was reluctant for a while because it's a very touchy subject to me. And because I lost a child. My child was 14 years old when I lost him. And this is a subject that I stopped talking about. I kind of put it on the back burner because it took me so long to be able to function after losing him. So to get us started, I did pull a short video. Let's watch this video and then we're going to talk more about this issue. Coping with the loss of a child. Here we go.
So the pain that's going to come, it's going to come in waves. At first, you won't even notice that they're waves because all the waves are going to be so close together, it's going to feel like you are drowning in some. You're not going to get any air and like you're not going to be able to escape that sadness. That's what the waves feel like at first. And then at some point, there's going to be a little break, just a little break, just a little bit of light in the darkness. Something is going to make you smile. Something is going to make you laugh. Something's going to just show you just a little bit of light. And then another wave of pain is going to come back again and it's going to be strong and you won't have any control over it. All of a sudden, you're going to be just crying uncontrollably. You won't be able to say, no, I'm in the light now, or I'm smiling right now. I'm not going to go back there. No, you're not going to be able to control it. And that's scary. You're at the mercy of this ocean of sorrow. But don't let that scare you. Don't let that scare you because I'm telling you that wave is going to subside again and this is going to go on. It's going to go on and the waves, they will become weaker. And what you need to realize is just because the waves are becoming weaker, this doesn't mean that you love your child less or you miss them less or that you aren't crushed at their passing. It just means that you're starting to be able to deal with it, which is what you're supposed to do. When you feel a little bit of a break, what you can do is you can row the boat. You can row the boat. And what I mean by that is start doing something productive to get your mind moving forward. Let's sort out the drawers in the bedroom. Let's vacuum. Let's do something productive.
Now, as you see in the video, I believe he explained the feeling, the emotions that you have when you lose a child. My child, I lost him. He went on a holiday vacation with my ex-husband. And on that vacation, he died from alcoholic poisoning at the age of 14. I was devastated. I thought my life was over at that point. It took me a very long time to be able to even function after that happened. It totally destroyed me. And a lot of it, I believe, was, for me, was guilt. Because there are so many things that I remember my son asking that he wanted to do. You know, he was just growing up and he wanted to do, and I just put it off and said, you know, we've got plenty of time to do that. Plenty of time to do that. And then when I lost him, all these things bubbled up. And even talking to you today, I can feel it rising again. But I'm going to try to get through it with you. When this happened, I was working, but I was getting ready to leave the job and move to another city. So that was already in motions when this happened. Now, when I went to the new city, I couldn't work. I could hardly talk. I could hardly manage. I was not with my ex-husband, and I had one younger son still with me, and he really was my rock. He was the reason why I decided life was worth living for this boy that I had. And the son that I lost was from my first marriage. I had 3 boys there. And the second marriage, I had this one boy. The son that I lost was the youngest of the first 3. The other 2, they were older, and, you know, one had gone off to the Navy and one was getting ready to go off to school when this happened. And actually, it kind of tore the family apart. It tore us completely apart because my older children knew their father, which was my ex-husband, which was with my son when this happened. And so they empathized with him and the whole bit, but I was angry. I was angry with hate, shame, grief, all of that. All of that. And plus, I came from a narcissistic family. And so I was angry with them because it seemed like they didn't care that much about it. It was just something that happened and I'm supposed to get over it. You didn't understand. It was like something reached in and just tore my heart out of my chest. Just tore it out of my chest. But the only reason, and I say to this day, the only reason that I am still standing is because when I looked at my youngest son at the time, that was the son by my second marriage, he was only about, I guess at that time, he may have been, he wasn't school age, so I guess he was around 4 or 5 when this happened. And when I looked at him, I knew that I had to be there for him. And that's the thing that kept me living. It really did. That was the light at the end of that tunnel. And every day it got a little better, but then I would go back into the depression. A little better, then I would go back into the depression. And it was hard. It was hard. It took me years before I could even stand up on my 2 feet again and even decide to go to work again. I went into my shell and I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to put the blanket over my head and just stay there forever. It's a hard thing to lose a child because you have lost a part of yourself. And you feel it deep. The hurt that I felt when I lost my son was the deepest hurt that I have ever felt in my life. But I'm going to tell you something that was amazing during that time. At the time of the funeral, as I walked up to the casket to view my son, and I was in pieces, a voice whispered right in his ear, just as clear as a bell. The voice said, "That is not him laying there. That is the coat that he wore when he was here. He's not there. Don't worry about it. He's still here with you." And so then I understood that we don't die. We are energy beings. We can never die. Energy can only be transformed into something else. So, looking at him in that casket, then I realized that was just the body that he inhabited when he was here on earth. And he's gone on to do something else, And I didn't worry about whether the body went in the ground or whatever it is, or where he was laid or anything like that. I was able to detach from that body when that voice came to me. And it was so clear and comforting. And all of a sudden, I felt free of the guilt that my son was going to go in the ground somewhere. And as a result, I never went back to where they buried him or anything like that, because I know he wasn't there. The voice was so clear. He's not there. That was just the shell that he was in when he was here. So I was good with that. And it really helped me so much to heal. But it took me years and years to heal because of the guilt that I felt, that I was not the best mother I could have been for him. That's why. And I also felt a lot of guilt because I was never able to reconnect with my other two boys, because their father was always kind of in the middle of it and having something to say or whatever, so I had to detach from my first two. I only had my last son, which was a baby, 4 or 5, with me at the time. So I put everything I had into this child, and that's what kept me going. And for you, I know many of you, when you lose a child, other people, they don't understand, and they will want you to hurry up and stop crying and get over it. Forget about it. It's over. You're going to be okay. But they don't understand. It's like a part of you has died, and you need to find yourself again. And that comes through healing. When you understand who you really are and how this all really works and why things happen the way that they happen, it can really set you free. People, if you are grieving the loss of a child, take your time. Take your time and go through it. You can't just act like it's not happening or it didn't happen, because that's going to make your life worse. Face it. Go with the emotions. Just like the guy said, the waves, just ride the waves. That's what I did. You just ride the waves. And when you feel like crying, let it out. That's what I did. Even if I was out in public, I would try to find a bathroom somewhere where I could just cry it out. Just cry it out. Until one day, the crying kind of stopped. And then I could see of doing something better. But it was a very slow process. It's not a quick fix. And if you are fortunate enough to have support, I suppose that can really help you. At the time in my life, I really didn't have the support that I needed to get through it. So I had to go through it, just me and my baby son. The two of us together. We had to go through it. My parents went on with their lives like nothing ever happened. I couldn't understand it. This was their grandson. How can you just go on with your life like it's nothing? It took me a long time to accept other people's reactions to this situation, as well as my own. I did seek out going inside myself and finding answers, because after I heard that voice, it seemed like a spirit was with me, a comforting spirit. It was almost like an angel with the wings around me during that time. And that held me together when I wanted to fall apart. It could just kind of held me together until I was able to to go through it and to come out on the other end better than before. Because I realized that our time here on earth with our families is a precious time. And we all need to cherish that time, because you don't know when you could lose someone just like that. Just like that. My son went off on a holiday and returned unalive. Unalive. Can you imagine? At 14. I hope that I've said something in this short video that can help someone. Grief can be a heavy, heavy thing. A heavy thing. But try not to let guilt be a part of it. Because of my guilt, it had a hold on me for such a long time. I felt like I had not done my best. I could have done more. I could have been more. Why did I let him go? You know, it was all that blame and everything. And I took in the blame. I didn't put much blame on Mike's husband because, you know, I didn't have much faith in him in the first place. But it was the blame that I let him go. You know, things like that. You got to get over it to move on with your life. And if you seek spiritual healing, that will bring in that positive energy that will help you to heal the pain of losing a child. I hope that the message today helps someone, and I really hope that you understand it. Losing a child can be a devastating experience, but just be strong, love yourself, and seek comfort in knowing who you really are. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for your letters and your comments. And if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. I wish you all the very best and happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.